Welcome to the studio. Today I want to show you an in-depth look into the West by Midwest collection. I've spent the last 2 months kind of working through these paintings. There's 10 in total and they range in size from 8 by 8 to 16 by 20 with sizes in between. And so I wanted to give you a more intimate look into each of these paintings, and so that you can see the texture and the colors, and kind of almost as if you're in a showroom or gallery, being able to really kind of spend some one-on-one time with these paintings. One of the biggest challenges I've had with this collection and even previous collections is being able to be realistic enough with the landscape, yet impressionistic and even abstract, so that you know it's a tree, but you're getting just a little piece that it's a tree. You're not getting like a fully perfect tree. I want you as the viewer in your mind to kind of piece it together. And so that's always been a challenge for me, with this balance of being realistic yet abstract. And so I think I finally hit the sweet spot with the West by Midwest collection. To bring these pieces to life, I spent a lot of time finding those perfect photos from when I was out hiking or traveling, and then diving into my sketchbook with different compositions and colors and figuring out what I wanted to convey in each piece. And so I'm excited to show you each of these. First up in the collection is my smallest piece, an 8 by 8 inches square, and it is named June. I love that feeling of being by a lake in summertime and having there be the pine trees, kind of to distinguish it from being on a beach with the tropical palm trees. I'd rather be on a beach with pine trees. And I love this tree line back here as it's kind of jetting out into the lake, and you kind of know there's more around the bend. Rust is an 8 by 10 piece, and I named it Rust because I loved these kind of dark orange tones from the path that I had in here, and just how it coincided with these darker greens. I just loved the color combination and the brightness from the path in this one. Dusk is 9 by 12, and one of the things I love most about this painting is I was going really impressionistic with my brush strokes on the mountains and keeping them very, very simplistic, and just layering these values on top of each other. I also wanted just a really simple reflection in the lake and kept that lake water looking almost black, just for a beautiful contrast. Love, love dusk. It's one of my favorites. This is the Summit, and it's one of the larger pieces in the collection. It is 11 by 14, and I wanted to really capture those bright colors in summer, but if you're hiking, a lot of the mountains sometimes, especially in the early summer months, still have the snow on top, and so you get this beautiful like white covered mountains but lush green like where you're hiking, and kind of you're just following this path. And so I really wanted to capture that in this painting. These next 5 paintings all have a similar color palette that I was really falling in love with. And first up is The Journey, and I loved having the sun kind of hitting this spot and then showing the path going along. All of these pieces have a really distinguished path that I love because it helps guide the viewer's eye deeper into the painting. This is The Destination, and one of the things I love most about this one is this tree line, because you're a lot closer up in this painting to the trees than what you are in a lot of versus the other ones in this collection. And then I wanted there to be a little mountain in the background, just kind of showing you that you're just really immersed in nature. This is the meadow, and it is an 8x10 piece as well. And there's so many times where you're out in nature and you're walking along and you're kind of in these thick trees, and then you open up to this wide open space. And so I really wanted to convey that in this painting. One of the things I love most about this painting is this line that is just leading you back into these beautiful trees where the strokes are just very simplistic, yet you know these trees have so much dimension to them. The ridge is also an 8x10 as well. And one of the things I love most about this painting that I don't paint very often, but I did in this one because my reference photo had it, and that was aspen trees. They have such a bright, beautiful green to them, and they were intermixed within the pine trees, and it was just these beautiful greens. And so if you're a green lover, this painting is definitely for you. I also wanted to then keep the tree line in the very, very distance, another lighter shade green, and then in the way distance is this mountain, and that's also in a light shade of green. So green lovers, this is the one. Last but not least is the marsh, and in this collection I try not to ever have like a favorite. I have probably like a top 3 or 4, and this is for sure in the top 3. I loved how this one came together, but what I love most about it is this tree line right in here and the shadows, and how the shadows were so simple but created these trees beautifully. When you put the paintbrush down and it makes that perfect mark, that's how this painting was. I felt like everything I did just worked beautifully. Another part I really love in this painting is some of these strokes going down to kind of give you a little more dimension and depth in the painting as well. And this one is a 9x12 inch. I'm excited for the West by Midwest collection to be released this week, for you guys to be able to have these beautiful paintings in your home and to really bring nature into your house. As I've had them up on my studio wall every day, I look at them and I feel so much peace, and like I'm really actually out in the trail and hiking and just immersed in nature. That is my hope for this collection. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to let me know, and thank you so much for your support.